to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the most listened to daily Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest of all.
Come on, Dolphins fans. Time to fins up.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast. How are you today? And if you're watching on YouTube, as you can see, I'm joined by a very special guest, our old friend, 2022 Miami Dolphins Fan of the Year, and our very own Dolphins Talk promo girl who helps us sell and promote all of our merchandise. Some of you know her as Allie, but you all know her as Dolphreaky. Allie, Dolphreaky, how you doing today?
I'm good, Mike. Nice to see you. It's been a minute.
It has. It's been far too long. And as always, you can follow her on social media, on Instagram or Twitter, at Dolphreaky. We got the NFL draft coming up. We got some football finally in our life here as Dolphins.
It's so refreshing to have football back in our life.
It really is. I know, news of the past week, people have been a little bit down in the dumps with the Dolphins, but, with the draft, there's always optimism. And for a weekend, you can just always think about the future and hope for what might be coming. And I know you're going to be going to Green Bay, Lambeau for the draft, SuperFan Summit Tailgate, Friday, April 25th, Green Bay 1-5. 841 Mike McCarthy Way, which is a stone's throw from Lambeau Field. Anyone can go. Guy have to get a wristband in advance. Tell people about this event, how they can get a wristband, and how they can hang out with other people to draft some other Miami Dolphins fans too, if they're going.
Yes, so this is the second annual SuperFan Summit Tailgate. The first one was last year in Detroit, and it was just such a blast. I think it's one of the best parts of draft weekend, being able to see teams from all over the NFL, fans showing their spirit, just dressed to the hills. And just, I have so many friends out there, with all different teams that I love this. This is one of the best parts of the draft and one of the main reasons why I go, is to just see all my friends and, share that fellowship. And, everybody's excited to have the season back. And so I'm looking forward to this particular tailgate. It's going to be hosted by 7 different tailgates from around the league, some of the best tailgates, What the Buck tailgate. We have the Enough Said tailgate. There's a whole bunch of tailgates there that are all going to put together one Mondo big tailgate. And I can't wait. So you do need wristbands. So you can get that at whatthebuck.net. Cheryl Stewart would be a good contact if you have any questions. I am posting that also to my socials if you guys are interested in joining us. But I've never been to Green Bay, so I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the draft. Obviously, it's it's exciting to have our team, being able to build back up. We've had some hard times, and I kind of went into hibernation a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm back now, baby.
Yeah, you're back. Dolphreaky's back. She's back at it. No, and look. First off, Lambeau, I've never been, but I think it's one of those places all football fans need to go and see. So I'm sure you're going to take 1,000 pictures as well, just being there in that environment. And also we're going to be live draft night on YouTube all 3 nights. And I know when you're down there, you're going to pop on and join us for 5 or 10 minutes. Just give us a feel what's going on.
Yep.
Boots on the ground, our little Dolphins Talk correspondent live on the scene. It's going to be great. So
I'm going to need one of those little microphones with like the little Dolphins Talk
I should have thought about this in advance. You know what? For next year, I don't know where the draft is next year. We're going to get you set up with that. I'm going to get you the whole thing.
Let's do it.
Yes. So YouTube for right here on our YouTube channel Friday night. We're going to be live, and Allie will be joining us for a few minutes just to give us a feel what's going on. But also for the tailgate, we'll put the link up on our social as well so people can click it. And because I know a lot of people head to the draft. It's a party. It's fun.
It's a party.
Not about wins and losses. Just have fun.
There's no wins and losses. There's no competitive energy. It's all fun and just everyone just sharing the same love for the game. So I can't wait. I hope to see you guys out there because it's really – it's one of those unique situations like Pro Bowl, for example. I love Pro Bowl for the same reason. It's a lot of good fan fellowship.
Okay, so I got to ask you, when you're at a tailgate, either your own, something like this, or someone else's, what's your favorite tailgate food? What's your go-to drink? What's your the one piece of food that you have to have at every tailgate? What's your favorite?
You know, I've been asked this before, and everybody always thinks I'm going to say like chicken wings or something like that, but it's cupcakes. So people who know my tailgate know we always have cupcakes, courtesy of Chef Jew. So yeah, I love having sweets, especially because it's hot out there at the tailgate.
Yep.
You know, you need your electrolytes, you need your sugar. We're trying to get hype for the game. Plus, it's just, you know, I feel like the football season is just a treat in general, so I don't mind treating myself to something that I maybe wouldn't eat on the regular on game day.
Yep.
So, but not and nothing against chicken wings or anything like that. Like that would be my next fave. But we have so much good food at the tailgate. I've had some incredible shrimp, all kinds of things out there. You know, it's especially in Miami. It's Miami culture, and you know, other visiting tailgates that I've been to are always awesome. So there's always food to be had.
Yeah, because I was there a couple years back. It's got to be at least 2, maybe 3, when you guys had the wedding, and you guys had sweets at that wedding, and that was really good. I remember that one because I was there.
Well, that wedding was Chef Jew's wedding.
Yes, I know.
That's crazy. But yeah, so now he makes cupcakes for me every week. So we always have some, and the kids love it. You know, when people come through, you know, it's always about the alcohol or whatever, but we got to have something for the kids too. So I love to do cupcakes.
Now, when you're in Wisconsin, you know, and I don't know if you're a fan of this, but you probably should try it if you have an open. There's gonna be a lot of bratwurst down there. You're gonna have some brats. You're in Wisconsin. They got meat on their bones.
I need some cheese curds. That's what everyone's telling me. You have, it's not, you know, Culver's is great, right? We love our Culver's, but they're like, you have to try the real Wisconsin cheese curds, and I love cheese, so I'm getting after that too.
All right. Let's talk a little football here real quick. Just what are you hoping for in the draft? What do you hope the Dolphins do? You know, they have a lot of needs right now. Some players, obviously, look, I'm trying to be diplomatic. So some players are no longer here. First off, they can never go wrong if they take an offensive lineman, because that's just one issue that never seems to be fixed. Now we got the other side of the ball on that line.
The secondary.
Well, first off, Zach Sealer needs some help. First, he lost Wilkins. Now he lost Campbell. Secondary, we lost all 4 starters. Or we're on the verge of. By the time this airs, maybe Ramsey's gone. I don't know, because we are talking Fridays, probably won't air. Or no, we're talking Thursday. This might not air like Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. We know what's going on with Ramsey, obviously, and secondary and both lines of scrimmages. I think. What are you hoping for? I don't know. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably. I mean, I think I've read a lot of mock drafts, and I think everyone agrees we're probably going to go with a corner. You know, one of the first 2 picks, and obviously, I think that's just the ultimate need right now. But obviously we do have to work on the O-line because we have our very fragile friend Tua. So I would love to see those needs addressed. But yeah, we have lots of picks this draft. So that, you know, that's comforting. That's comforting at least. So I know we can address all the needs that we have to. I'm sure we'll, you know, get a receiver somewhere. Our good old friend Tyreek just continues his antics. Like, God dang, this guy frustrates me. But yeah, so we could use help at a lot of positions. So
yeah, they have 10 picks now, and if they do trade Ramsey prior to the draft or on that weekend, might get more. So probably at least be up to 11. I would think that's probably most realistic.
Do you think Greer has a master plan?
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah.
You mentioned Hill. It's true though, not to get into that whole aspect of it, but you know, prior to that news that broke a week or so back, wide receiver is like an afterthought. Well, we know, even if he's here for this year, which he'll probably be here, this is probably his last year in Miami.
Last year.
So you have to also keep a thought in your head. Well, if we're sitting in round 2 or 3 and someone falls in our lap, a wide receiver, is it a need right now? No, but we have to think about life after Tyreek.
Yes. We're at that point now where we have to look at the future. Unfortunately, I think we kind of missed our window, and we're kind of like back to square one a little bit here. So now we're trying to build a younger, you know, fresher team. So
gotta give someone next to Waddle. I know, I hate it too, because I thought, and I think that's why like a lot of fans are frustrated, because we went through this in 2019, and you know, the powers that be were like, we're going to do it right this time. We're going to do it once. We're going to do it right. So we're never back in this type of situation. Now that was 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I guess. And it's like we're back in the situation, and in that time frame. Yeah, we had some fun moments. Yeah, you had a game where you scored 70. You had one season you started 8-3. One season you started 9-3. That's great for the first few months, but the end of the season things sort of fizzled out. And it's like we went through this. We have not much to show for it outside of a few fun moments, and now we're back to square one. And I think where the real frustration is the guy, let's just say it, who screwed up the first one. is going to try and fix it again. And
Yeah.
that's where fans are like, can we try a new vision, a new something, just new? And it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Yeah, I'm never the, the Debbie Downer type of fan, but I do feel down about this season. So I'm hoping the draft will give us some
That's
light.
right. We need look with you and me. For fans who don't know, we are Rangers fans. Hockey.
Yeah.
The Rangers season did not go well for us. Then we get hit with Hill news. Then we get hit with Ramsey news. As sports fans, you and me right now are not in a good spot.
No.
Good news next week at this draft. Again, you don't know on the night of the draft who's going to be good, who's not. But sometimes you have a feeling, oh, that guy looks like he's going to be pretty good. But that guy probably won't be a bust. We need some positive vibes just for you.
Yeah.
Forget everyone else. For you and me, we need positive vibes, Alex.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, like this year, I have not been studying the draft. I have been in hibernation mode. The Rangers were like the freaking
frustrating. Yeah.
I couldn't even get into it this year because I was just so frustrated. Like, you can win by 6 points one day and the next day you lose by 9. And it's like, what is this team? So I feel like it's the same shit with the Dolphins. Same thing with the Dolphins all the time.
I've said worse in the past week. Don't worry.
It's like, here's a pie in the face. Have another one. Have another one. Like, no matter where you go. And so it is frustrating. And so I do think, I just haven't analyzed the draft. I'm not planning. A couple people asked me, are you doing a mock draft this year? No, I'm not.
I will say this.
I'm not there.
I have. I've been knee deep in this draft now for probably, 6-8 weeks, maybe even a little more. The needs Miami has, offensive line, defensive line, secondary, this draft is loaded in. So I almost feel like, in a roundabout way, this draft is, and I hate to use this term, but I'm going to use it, dummy proof for Chris Greer.
Right.
That if you take a secondary round 1, there's still going to be very good offensive linemen and defensive linemen round 2 or 3. You take offensive linemen round 1, there's going to be very good secondary players in defense. Like, no matter what
we can't lose, right?
Well, he can if he varies off and takes like a fullback. Yes, I'll help.
He would do this. He would do this.
That's why this draft is actually set up great for the Dolphins in that respect. Now, you have to take the right players, obviously, and you don't really know until a few years, because even with picks like Cam Smith really haven't panned out well.
Right.
But, it's set up at least on paper to be deep in the areas and needs Miami has. And with 10 picks, hopefully they can take advantage of that. We'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll light candles. We'll say rosaries. We'll pray to whoever you pray to. I'm not here to judge. You pray to whoever you're praying to for the best.
Pray for us Dolphins fans. Everyone.
Point, we need to turn to divine intervention. And that's what we need.
I know, and I've turned to divine intervention so many times before, and look where it's got us.
I don't know if you've seen this, and I should probably send you a clip. Myself and Ian, I think twice this past year on our podcast, had Jesus. We had Jesus. Now, mind you, it was a Jesus impersonator. It was Jesus, though, who put out
amazing.
Some prayers. Yeah.
How did I miss that? We had Jesus at the tailgate one day.
You know what? I'm sure you would do it. I'm sure I could get this guy to show up and do it. It would be hilarious. Some people are offended, which I said, guys, lighten up. It's a joke. It's a parody. It's Saturday Night Live. Don't take it literally. We're not trying to insult anybody, but we did have him on, I think, twice last year. I will send you the clips, and maybe next time you're on, I'll have Jesus join us with something. I've never asked you this question, and I'm curious where you are, because I know people have strong opinions on this one way or another. Is Dolphreaky an old school logo girl, or is she a fan of the new logo that we have currently?
I'm a fan of all the logos.
Okay.
And people ask me about this all the time. Like, am I opposed to mixing the old and new logos on the same outfit? No, I'm not. I like to do that because I like to give homage to our history. And also I recognize where we are now. And I recognize that the Dolphins are not going back to that old logo. Stop it.
But they can wear it up to 6 times this year. Now it's four times this year.
They will not go back to it because they can make it a special event now when they use an old logo. So I love, love, love the old logo. I have it tattooed on me. I also have the new logo tattooed on me. The one that I don't have is the one that I grew up with, the 2000s logo. That's the one that I need still. But that is actually my favorite logo. It's the one that gives me like the best, good feelings. Like, even though those teams weren't necessarily good, that was like me and my dad watching games at home. That was my first Dolphins game logo. Like, all that stuff is like my history. So
Yeah, it's so funny because I know it's split. I'm an old school logo guy, but again, I don't take it that seriously. But I am an old school logo guy, which I like the throwback one. So I love wearing the throwbacks. Now they can wear it up to 4 times this year, which is cool. If they will, I don't know, but they can if they want.
yeah,
And then you got the new one, which some people feel very strongly about the new one, and that's great too. Whatever. But the one in the middle, which is right above, if you're watching on YouTube, right there, there is. I don't want to say it's a big, but there's a silent voice of a segment of Dolphins fans who love it. I know now you have said this to me, Seth Levitt, who does the show with OJ's. He's a huge fan of that logo. I know many people who love that logo, and everyone always talks about old school and then the new one.
yeah.
That one in the middle never gets talked
He
about.
never gets loved on.
It never gets loved, but there is a segment of fans who do love that one. And they, I don't know. What they should do now that they can wear it up to 4 times this year, use all 3 in a season. Use 2 games or because they always wear the new one, obviously, but do 2 games with the old school and then 2 games with the one in the middle, I like to call it.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe they will.
But you think about it from a business standpoint, like
Why
would they ever go back? You know what I mean? Because they can still sell the old jerseys. They can sell the middle jerseys, the new ones. Like it just increases your merch, and it allows us to have representation of all the years in our existence. So I kind of I like the idea that we have multiple ones. I do wish the current logo had a helmet on.
Yeah,
that's like
I know.
That's what made it
I
so.
know.
Okay, it's cute, right? People don't want to be cute. Like they want it to be
they
like an
want mean.
angry, vicious
But it's a dolphin.
dolphin.
You can't have a mean dolphin. I mean, like
the guy you have
logo,
up here, like your little
he's a mean
logo,
dolphin.
he's a mean one.
We've tried it, and that's probably like the meanest it can go without it having like it's a joke type of deal.
Yeah.
So I think we've got
He's
it like
fierce.
as mean
He's
as
not
one
mean.
can
He's
go.
fierce because
He's fierce.
I
He's
feel
ready
like this
to fight.
podcast is so very positive all the time. Like you and Ian are just so sweet and nice,
try.
and like you're not
Ian's
mean.
sweet and nice. Sometimes I get a little crazy, but Ian, yes, he balances me out as well as some others who balance me out as well. I'm not that crazy, but yeah. That logo though, yeah, that's our logo. I've had that for a while. 2 things here as we wrap up. 2 things we got to work on. Number 1, we got to get Richmond Webb in the Hall of Fame. And I want to say this, fans of the Dolphins, and I've spoken to people behind the scenes, and like I think the fans are great. Obviously, that I don't know if they helped with Zach, because I think he would have gotten.
We did help with Zach.
We did, yeah. It was very vocal, very loud. But I think with Richmond, it's going to take a new approach in that when you're on social media, Instagram, Twitter, or wherever you post, I don't care, any platform, I think tagging the Hall of Fame isn't going to work.
No.
Because the Hall of Fame isn't a person, it's an entity. The Hall of Fame is no say.
And it's a social media account.
Yeah, it's people. I think we as fans of Dolphins have to find a list of the voters and tag them.
Yep.
That's who you tag on social media. Don't tag the Hall of Fame's a building. It's a museum. They have no say in this. And there's probably some 16-year-old, 18-year-old intern who runs that account who's like, I don't know what they're talking about. Who wasn't even alive when Richmond Webb played. We have to tag the voters. So I think the plan of attack this offseason, tag the voters. There's only like 40 or 50 of them. The list is out there. And they all have accounts on social media. And it's not just Armando. Leave poor Armando alone. Again, he's one man. He can't do it himself. You have to tag the voters in St. Louis, Seattle,
it's
LA,
the other
New York,
voters.
the other voters. Armando's voting for him.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
He's already with us, and there are actually a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes already. I don't know if you know Dan from France, but he is incredible and just really just petitioning behind the scenes with the voters and helping us in so many ways that he's not being vocal about. So know that is happening. And then also, if you guys follow the Twitter account, Rich Webb 2PFHOF, there's a lot of content in that account that you can retweet and share. And the more we do, and he's always posting, Dan runs that account and he's always posting more things in there. That is crucial because he's finding the stats, like the real
I have the stats,
convincing information. Yep. You can contact me if you want a t-shirt, because I think the more people we have wearing t-shirts this year is going to be amazing. We already, I think we sold like over 100 t-shirts already, but we need more. Like I want every person in the fan base to have a t-shirt and wear it whenever you go somewhere so we can spread awareness that way. People see these shirts because they're really popping. And, a lot of people are like, what's that about? And this is our campaign. Like, this is what we're doing now. This is happening. Like,
Yeah.
this is in real time. And so I feel so strongly about this
No, I know.
cause.
Look, once again, he's one of those guys who is so nice, and he will do. I see him jump on a million podcasts because every fan who's got a podcast, ask him some small who probably don't even have. He'll never say no. He jumps on. He'll share his story, share about his time playing in college, talk about his time with the Dolphins. I mean, he's like
so humble.
He's
like
a gentle giant. I've seen him down there in South Florida at the tailgate at numerous events. He's just he's like this big giant man with a heart of gold. And he really, put that aside because I know it's a Hall of Fame, which it just matters what you do on the field. His on the field numbers stack up. And my biggest complaint, which I've shouted from the rooftops for years, the minute they put in Tony Baselli, and this is not a knock on Tony Baselli at Jacksonville, their numbers are identical, and Richmond Webb did it for twice as long. I think Richmond Webb had 181 starts. Tony Baselli had 90. So he has just as many All-Pros, Pro Bowls, and he had durability that Tony Baselli never had because he was always hurt. If you're going to put in Tony Baselli, you got to put in Richmond Webb, and that's his best argument.
That's a major argument. Yeah,
I've shared that with Seth. I've shared it with other people in the Dolphins. I go, that's the one you got to hammer home because if you're putting, it's like with Zach Thomas. If you're putting Urlacher, you got to put in Zach. The numbers are almost identical. Putting Tony Baselli, you got to put in Webb. That's the argument for Webb, and it's going to be tough. But I think fans, we got to rally behind us. That's one thing. This offseason, when we're frustrated about Ramsey, we're frustrated about Hill, we're frustrated about the upcoming season, we're nervous about what's going to happen. Make yourself feel good. Let's fight for Richmond Webb.
Thank you. We have to try to influence the factors that we can change. Yeah, you got my stamp of approval on this too, because we can't change what happens on the field, but we can change, things like that. And Richmond is so deserving. He's so humble. Like he doesn't want all of this fanfare, but the fans started this. I want to say this started with Ashley and Lou actually at Zach's enshrinement. Okay. They made little towels that said, congratulations, Zach, Richmond, you're next. And that was like the first thing that like started it going. And then Dan was like, we're doing this. Like, and he asked me and he asked Lisa and Maria Caraballo. And like, we all kind of like started the t-shirt thing, but now it's not just this small group of people. It has to be every single fan in this fan base has to be a part of this fan committee for Richmond Webb to the Hall of Fame.
Tag the
every
voters.
Single person.
Don't tag the Hall of Fame. Tag the voters. You
wear
can
the
just
shirt.
go on Google. You'll find the voters so easily. And be nice about it. Don't call them names.
Please be nice.
Be civil. Be like, I hope you consider Richmond Webb for the Hall of Fame. Here's why. But tag the voters. Those are the people who have the power to get them in. Tagging the Hall of Fame is just pointless. It's just whatever.
And you can send letters. You can send letters of recommendation to the Hall of Fame itself. And those also carry weight as well.
And the last thing's not a question. We're just going to say a bunch of nice things about our good friend, Big E, Ian Berger, that we're thinking about you, Ian. We love you. We're hoping you get well soon. I miss you on this podcast. I want you on a podcast with Allie and myself real soon. Yeah. And let's just say nice things about Ian. I'll let you go first.
I'm going to cry, Mike, if I have to do this.
Oh, God.
So you guys know Ian is just such a positive force in this fan base and always positive and a role model to me. A fan of the year brother, a brother at the tailgate and outside of football, completely just one of the best human beings that I know. His family is the sweetest. I love them all so dearly, and I hate that they're going through this. And, Mike and I talked a little bit before the show about like what we can do here and like how can we help you, Ian, and just know that like whatever we can do, we are willing to do it. I know that a lot of people have already signed up to be donors. He needs a little piece of someone's liver to help regenerate his. And so thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for all of you who have gone through that process and started the process. I've done it myself. And I just, I hope dearly that we can find, somebody to do this for him and that we can just put an end to his suffering. And Ian, I love you to infinity and beyond. And I pray for you every single day, and I know you're gonna get through this. I love you.
Yes, we all love Ian. I miss him on this show, but I know this show is so secondary of what he's going through right now.
Yeah.
But I do miss just seeing his face once a week on Wednesdays, and everyone loves you, Ian. Everyone's always thinking about you. The number of people who reach out to me, I'm not joking, each week and ask, how's Ian doing? you would be floored. And I know I've told you some about this, but there's so many. I can't tell you everyone because there's just so many.
He's so
And
loved.
we're so loved. We're all praying for you. We're all hoping for you. And hopefully we hit some draft picks next week for you, because I know that's what you're also worried about. You got to see this.
This will help Ian's mood.
That will help Ian feel better, at least emotionally. But Ian, we love you.
Yes,
We're thinking about you.
we love you.
Can't wait to talk to you soon. And yeah, I just want to end the show with that, because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because it's bigger than football, you know. And
Absolutely.
we have so many friends in this fan base, and some, we've already lost. Rest in peace, Gary. We lost him to pancreatic last year, and the void is still very much there that he left. And I just think we all become so close. Football brings us together in so many ways, not just from the love of the game, but we physically see each other every week. I see my football friends more than I see my own family sometimes. And, it really, truly is family. So we have to be here for each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Allie, thank you so much. Have fun at the draft. Can't wait to talk to you next week when you're there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. At the draft Friday, April 25th, Green Bay, Wisconsin. SuperFan Summit Tailgate. I'll have the link up on our site. It'll be in this video on YouTube. We'll share it on our social media. We'll share it on the podcast link for those who listen on Apple and Spotify and all that good stuff. If you want to get a wristband and go. And of course, if you're not going, but you're going to be watching the draft at home, be sure to tune into the DolphinsTalk YouTube channel Friday night. Allie's going to join us live on the scene, reporting from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Here's what's going on. I'm going to have my first bratwurst and a beer, maybe live on the air, with a cupcake as well.
And a shot of Malort.
There you go. There you go. And
that's what the fans really want to see.
The
face that you make after you shoot Malort is...
You do that? Else. Yes. Well, you know what? We might have to do that live on the air just to see that.
It's happening because the Bears fans are going to be there deep, and I just know it's happening. So.
I love it. And also follow her on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and everywhere at Dolphreaky. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again after a while.
Fins up.
Hey guys, Mike here from DolphinsTalk.com. Just want to thank you for watching this video today. Please be sure to like and subscribe to this video. And also just thank you in general. I know you have a lot of other podcast options out there these days, whether it's with the Miami Dolphins or about the Miami Dolphins, and with non-Miami Dolphins podcast stuff like true crime, politics, NBA, Major League Baseball. We do appreciate the support you guys provide us, and we do thank you for watching our content. We appreciate it more than you'll ever know. So thank you so much. Just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, don't forget to sign up for our Patreon service. Go to patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. And for just $3 a month, you will get more Miami Dolphins coverage and shows. Patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. Thank you again, and everyone have a great day.